Okay, so how's it going, Amazon class? This is gonna be till your last lesson. Here we're gonna talk about additional practice. In this lab, we'll continue improving the employees database. We'll create it in the previous class on your own. Design and implement the tables below. Number one, create a table for storing employee addresses with a relationship to the employees table. Number two, create a table for storing a list of employee pay types. The possible values for the pay types are salary, hourly, and freelance. Also, the employee table to include a foreign key relationships to the employee pay types table. Number three, create a table for the hourly employees to store time punches. The table should be called time clock and have the following columns: punch ID, employee num, clock on time, and clock off time. So make sure you guys also send in your own file. So a setup with the documentation. Go ahead and send in all the SQL files. So that, because this is going to be, something creative. Okay, so talk about review exam. So here, when you guys take an exam, this is going to be some of the multiple choices. So like, obviously that we're not in class, you guys are able to see the answers. So number one, which of the following SQL data types stores text? We know that's varchar, which is, a variation of characters. Which of the following SQL data types is equivalent to a boolean? A bit, which is a 0 or 1. Which of the following commands is the example of DDL? Create table. Which command limits the results of a query to a certain number of records? Top. What is the purpose of a trigger? Execute SQL commands anytime update, insert, or delete statements are performed on a table. So also make sure you guys also watch out for the confusing the confusing other answers. So it wouldn't be save, select, query permanent to a database, or improve database performance, or create primary and foreign key relationships between tables. What is the purpose of an index? This is important. Improve database performance. We talked to this about what's an index. What's the result of a left join? The left join keyword returns all records from the left table, table 1, and the match records on table right table, table 2. The results is null from the right side if there is no match, right? What is a primary key? What's true about the primary key? It must be unique and not null, and unique identifies each record in the table, right? All right. What does the with recover command do? Prepares and restore database for use. What does SQL stand for? Structured Query Language. How would you select a column name first name from a table first name from a table named persons? Select first name from person first, and then make sure you guys know how to code. So some of the parts it's going to talk about coding. How would you select all the records from a table named persons where the value of a column first name begins with the letter B? You go put select star from person where first name like B modulus inside one quotation. So you study the following query and describe what will return. Select all that apply. So here you have select star from dogs where breeds equal to pitbull and age is less than 5 or breeds equal to chihuahua. So here it will return all pitbulls under the age of 5. It will return all chihuahuas. Alright, so here this is a double answers. Which command will insert a new record in the persons table? Insert into persons, first name, last name, values, Jimmy, Jacob. What does the identity property do in the create table statement? Allow SQL to auto assign a number to the columns on insert. How can you change Hansen into Nelson in the last name column in the person table? You're just going to do update person set last name equals to Nelson, where last name is equal to Hansen, so every Hansen will change to Nelson. Database normalization in the process of, so here, breaking large amounts of data up into separate smaller tables to minimize redundancy and improve efficiency. All right, number 18, you need to enable a new employee to authenticate to your server. Which command would you use? Number A, you put create login. Which keyword can be used in a create table statement? Here you just have unique. The component that holds information for a single entry in the table is called a row. So you guys know that this is column, this is row. What is a Cartesian product? A cross join where each row in the first table is paired with the rows In the second table, this happens where there's no relationships between the tables. Which command should you use to remove a table from a database? You're going to use the drop table. Which category of SQL statement is used to add, remove, and modify database structures? Data, DDL. So there's going to only be two DDL. You have a table named student that contains 100 rows. Some of the rows have a no value in the first name column. You execute the following statement. Delete from student. What is the result? So now all the rows in this table will be deleted. You're designing a database, and you need to store a value of here is about what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 integers with 3 decimals. What data type should you use to store the value? You're going to use numeric that goes by 3 decimals and then 8 number places. You are designing a database, and you need to store a very large value that is greater than 2.147 billion. Which data type we use to design the column as? You're going to use a big int. You have a department table and an employee table in your database. You need to ensure that an employee can be assigned to only an existing department. Which you apply to employee table? You're going to use a foreign key. All right. Okay. What are the 3 valid data manipulation language commands? Choose 3. You're going to use insert. There's no such thing. There's not a valid for a commit. You're going to do delete. There's no valid for output, and then you're going to do update. In normalization, the first normal form requires that the database cannot contain repeating data or columns. How do you call it a stored procedure? You're going to use execute, store procedure, name, parameter 1, parameter 2. And that's it for your 11-2 exam. Let's talk about your last lesson, exam prep. Alright, so here you go. This course has helped you prepare for the 98-364 database fundamental exam. So here for the Microsoft, you guys are going to be just taking this exam right here. So obviously you guys are not going to pay for it. A representative from the school will be reaching out to you about sitting for the certification exam. We recommend you commit to preparing the exam for at least 30 days. So you guys are just preparing it right now. Just keep, studying and stuff like that. The exam will have many questions with facts that details that require memorization. To prep for the exam, remember the following resources. You guys have the Microsoft 98-364 study guide, exam topic study question. Here's you guys can go here and just read about the exam study questions. The Microsoft 98-364 ebook. Scheduling exam. Here you just go here, you schedule it, find your location, enter your information, and from there you guys are able to take that on that date, right? Okay, so that's gonna be it. Let's talk about your this is the last part, ask me anything, free study. So just today I want you guys to finish up that creative project, and then also just start studying for your exam, and then we'll get ready for our next lesson. So this whole week it's gonna be just just catching up with your work. So the people that need to catch up with their work, right, I gotta show you guys. All right, so